There's a bunch of new cards that have been data mined. Today we're going to look into them, and man, some of these are really, really cool. Let's get into it. The first of those cards is going to be Cannonball, a 5/8 that reads, on reveal, move an enemy card away from here, add a rock where it was, and if it can't move, destroy it to add the rock. So I imagine y'all's minds are going the exact same direction that mine is going, and that is straight towards junk decks. A lot of people are a little upset with Annihilus getting a nerf in the last patch to where he would no longer send over zero power cards, just things below 0. So now with Cannonball on turn 5, it will move an enemy card. So let's say that they're winning a location or something along those lines. You can play Cannonball there, move a card to a different location, and add a rock to its place. So if they have a full location, you can move and fill it, which is really, really cool. I could see Titania doing some work in a deck like this as well, being able to like fill and just frustrate people. Not too sure how that would necessarily work, but right off the jump, I do not think this is a move card. So this would not go into a Gamuva deck or anything like that. It's just going to move one card. So the most that could do is move one card. If you get lucky, it goes to the Craven location and you buff 2. But that's really all. So 5/8 moving that. Let me know down below, what type of deck would you build with this card, with Cannonball? Seems pretty cool. I actually really like it. I think you would rarely have it actually destroy a card. I think the only scenario that would really happen is if on turn 5, the location where you can't play until turn 6 is up and they've filled up the middle location or something and you're playing on the left, or if there's a Professor X down or something along those lines. But for the most part, I doubt you would ever see Cannonball actually destroy something, and I think that's why it has that ability, because that would be so rare. If that could happen more frequently, then I think that would be pretty overpowered. But 5/8 is a really good stat line, and being able to junk up their side so that maybe on turn 6 you could play Hazmat, something along those lines. It seems like it could be pretty cool. Again, let me know what you guys think. The next card on the list is Hope Summers, a 3/3 that reads, after you play a card here, you get +2 energy next turn. Okay, so in an ideal world, you play Hope Summers on turn 3. So that means on turn 4, you actually, now I just thought about this. Here's an ideal world, okay? Let's say you're playing a high Evo deck. Oh my gosh, please, no. It's gonna fit so well inside a high Evo. You play Hope Summers on turn 3 with Wasp, giving you, on turn 4, 6 power, okay? You play on top of Hope Summers once again. Let's say you play a 2 and a 3. So that you are able to get that Sunspot going, you're able to get that Cyclops, all that kind of stuff. You play that on there. Then, turn 5, you've got 7 energy, and you play it on there again, and then turn 6, you have 8. Wow! I did not even think initially as I was reviewing this about where Hope Summers would fit. I just thought it would kind of be a float card that people might throw into their deck, but my goodness, High Evo is going to be insane, especially with the recent addition of Kyera to Marvel Snap. Throwing in Hope Summers as well, to where they play that and they play Wasp in the same turn, to where on turn 4 they have 6 energy. They could throw down Hulk if they wanted to. They could full float that turn and then play She-Hulk for absolutely free on turn 5. Which is freaking crazy. So lots of different opportunities for Hope Summers. Why don't you guys comment down below? Where do you see Hope Summers fitting? What type of deck would you build around Hope Summers? I think Hope Summers is going to find a permanent place inside of high Evo decks. And I don't know how I feel about it. And the next card on the list is Mockingbird, a 5/9 that reads, costs 1 less for each card you have in play that did not start in your deck. Okay, so a lot of people once again saying that Loki got killed. It didn't get killed. I've honestly been seeing more Loki lately than I have anything else. Loki did not get killed. So this is going to fit really well inside of Loki decks because you think about it, you got Agent 13, you got Maria Hill, you've got Mirage, you've got so many different opportunities to play those cards to where Mockingbird could be pretty cheap. Early on, I would say that Mirage and then Maria Hill are probably going to be the two that allow you to get Mockingbird down to 3 fairly quickly. And then after that, depending on what you've got, yeah, you might be able to get some other stuff going. I wonder if you were to play, say, Mr. Sinister, or if you were to play Bucky Barnes, if Winter Soldier counts, because that technically isn't a card, it's a result of a card. I don't really know, it's a token. I don't think that would work. Same with like Debris or Brood. If the Broodlings count, I don't know. I imagine that they wouldn't. I could see maybe Debris working because you would have 2 of those rocks in play. And then Mockingbird would therefore cost 3 after playing Debris. I'm not sure on that interaction, but I could see Mockingbird working really, really well inside of Loki decks, giving you a very, very cheap card that has a good bit of power. So why don't you guys comment down below. Again, where do you see Mockingbird fitting? It actually seems like a pretty legit card, but obviously you're not just going to throw it into any random deck. You're going to need to play those Agent 13s, Agent Coulson in a Zabu deck, things like that. And you can get Mockingbird down pretty cheap, I think. And then lastly, we've got Pixie. Pixie is a 1/3 reading on reveal. Shuffle the costs of all cards in your deck. Okay. Now, my initial thought was, wait, is this going to be like a Mr. Negative deck? And it's like, no, it's not the same sort of thing. It's going to shuffle all the costs. So you're going to want to have a fairly widespread amount of costs, I would guess, in your deck. Or what you're going to do is play Scar and play a bunch of 1s and then a bunch of 6 drops that have 10 power. So you're going to have Magneto. You're going to have all of that kind of stuff. You could have Khazar in your deck. But if you think about it, Pixie as a 1/3, you play it down, and then all of your 1s now cost 6, unless you have like Red Skull in there or things like that. Then you are going to be able to play those. Scar could practically be free. So I could totally see Pixie fitting inside of like a Moon Girl deck where you play Pixie. Hopefully you already have Moon Girl in hand, or Moon Girl could turn into a 1-drop. You don't really know. And then you play Moon Girl. You have 1 or 2 1-drops that are big time power. You Moon Girl it, and you just cause a lot of problems. Like, Pixie seems really, really cool now that I think about it, and I would have a lot of fun coming up with decks there for Pixie. I really think that the 1-drop with a bunch of 6 that are over 10 power, so you have Magneto in there, maybe you have She-Hulk in there, you got things like that in there, and then you play that Moon Girl, you play it all down, you got Scar, you got lots of different things. I think there's some pretty cool potential for Pixie to be kind of wild, especially if you're tracking your deck and you know what you have left in there. I think it could be pretty cool. And then lastly, we're going to talk about the very next patch that we should be seeing, which is going to be bringing all of those cards we just talked about, as well as War Machine on reveal until the end of next turn. Nothing can stop you from playing cards anywhere. This has been leaked for a while. Seems pretty cool, though. And then it looks like updated cards. So these got updated. You can only play this where you have a 1-cost card. That's Cull Obsidian and Super Giant. All cards played next turn don't reveal until the end of the game. So that's pretty cool. We got some new locations, all that kind of stuff. Let's scroll down here, though, real quick and look at some of these new variants. Ladies and gentlemen, look at this new freaking Iron Fist right now. Holy cow, that thing is insane. Got a couple pixel variants. This Sunspot looks wild. see any more that really stand out as being super freaking cool. This Green Goblin's pretty rad. I'm okay with that one. Some cool Hope Summers. This one looks pretty cool to me right off the jump with those light flares. Killmonger looking pretty rad here. Got Rogue popping out of the frame there. That's really cool. Black Cat, Omega Red. If only they didn't destroy him by adding Miss Marvel. Some cool Cannonballs as well. An Iron Man. Lots of different stuff there. A couple of Scar variants, which is pretty sick. But that's going to be it for today's video. Y'all comment down below. Let me know, how do y'all feel about these new cards that have been data mined that are going to be coming to the game? I think that they seem pretty cool. Cannonball seems awesome, and Pixie seems like an absolute blast to play. Cannot wait to do that. Thank you guys for hanging out. Appreciate you. I'll see you on the next one, all right? Peace out.